Thanks, Brandon. How you doing, folks? Excited? Something to do tonight, right? How many of you is this your first one? First child making confirmation? Okay. How many is this your last one? Well, you don't really know for sure, do you? You do? Okay, pretty sure. Anybody middle one? Middle child? Not too many. Okay. Well, great to be with you. So I'm going to be with you kids in the fall. What am I in for? Making you nuts? Yeah, I know. It's hard. But I'm with you tonight. You know, I've been doing this a lot of years. And I'm amazed that God still works through me with kids, with young people today, and the way I am and whatever. It all works. But you are the main players. And you're the main people that God is counting on to guide their souls on this journey of life. So it's a blessing to be with you tonight. What I'm hoping to do is to throw out a couple of things that may be encouraging, inspiring, and affirming for all of you. Floor open to some of the challenges that you're all facing in trying to guide these kids on the right path these days. And then I'm going to close with you with what will be the highlight of their retreat with me. This way, when they come home from that event, you have some idea about what they'd experienced. Okay? How's all that? Good plan? Get you out of here by 10:30? Boom, you're in. It's a good thing. Hey, I want to kick off with a little demonstration. And my friend, what's your name? Jennifer has volunteered. I didn't even have to coax her that hardly to be a guinea pig for this demonstration here. Jennifer, how you doing? Thanks for stepping up. Appreciate it. Jennifer, do you know what these are? Tuning forks, very good. When I got the idea for this, I went to the music store and they said, I need tuning forks. And they're like, fine. You want the $100 ones or the $4 ones? Which, we got the $4 ones. I said, I work in the Catholic Church. I don't have $100 for tuning forks. But anyway, Jennifer, this is what's going to happen. This one, I'm going to smack against a hollow object. I'll use my head. I know that that's hollow. Okay? Then I'm going to put this one in contact with it, and this is the one that I'm going to place next to your ear. What you're going to do is let all these people know you heard, if you heard anything at all. Okay? You excited? Good. Folks, this is what's going to happen. Okay, so this one's going to be hit, going to be vibrating. This one will be in contact with it, and she's going to let you know if she can hear anything. Okay? First of all, before we go any further, Jennifer, can you hear in that ear? Yes. Just want to make sure. First time I did this, I was so excited. And I did it like 4 times, and the woman was like, no. Then she remembers that she's deaf in that ear, so now I ask. Okay? All right, here we go. You got it? Okay, let's get up there. She heard the humming sound. Beautiful. Okay, so this is what happened. This one was vibrating. Contact with it caused this one to vibrate identically, and that's what she was able to hear. Okay? If I win the big money, or if any of you do and you'd like to pass some of it my way, I would like to maybe get the more expensive ones, because when you do with the big ones, you get it vibrating, you don't even have to touch them. Just put the other one somewhere in its field, and it will pick up the vibration. Now, what's this got to do with you? Well, we're invited tonight. Every time you come to this church and anything this church offers, it's an opportunity for you to step away from life a little bit, to take a look at how are you vibrating? How is God shining inside you? This is what the kids are picking up. More than anything, this is a faith, a religion that is more caught than taught. The kids are picking up your vibe. Now, we're raising kids and we're all trying to live ourselves in a world at a time where people aren't vibrating so good, are they? There's a lot of craziness out there. Everybody's stressed. People are confused. People got grievances. It's a rough time right now out there. And people, so many, are on the brink of exploding, and some actually are. Okay? Tonight, Jesus wants you and me to step away from everything a little bit, to take a look at how are we vibrating, because the kids are picking that up. The vibration that we have, what we have going on in our souls. A lot of us think that spiritual stuff is stuff that we can afford to put on a back burner, but the bottom line is, it's what permeates everything. Little children have it, don't they? They're vibrating naturally with the beauty and the power of God. It's why you could take the most crotchety, grouchy old person, put a little baby in front of them, and they get all silly with themselves, right? Okay? Because they got it. We all start out that way, vibrating naturally with everything that God gives us from the other side. But as life goes on, for that vibration to shift, to change, maybe even to stop. We all want the best for our kids, don't we? Isn't that why you came out tonight? Nobody looked at their calendar and said, parenting at the church. Finally, something to do. That wasn't it. You're busy, but you came out tonight and you do everything you do because you know in your soul that what Jackie Kennedy said was true. I saw this video on YouTube of Jackie Kennedy. You know who she was? John F. Kennedy's wife, First Lady of the United States. As a very young woman, was First Lady. And there's a great video of her being interviewed shortly after they came into the White House by this reporter. And the reporter says, Mrs. Kennedy, you are married to the most powerful man in the world. You are the First Lady of the most important nation on earth. How does it feel? And she is such a soft-spoken woman. She just gently looks him in the eye and says, look, I'm a mother. I fail at that. Who cares about that other stuff? That's the truth, isn't it? You came out tonight and you do all that you do because this role of a mom, a dad, is the big one. It will not matter what else, much else you did with your life if we failed at that. You want to get it right. What God wants us to do is to stop once in a while and get us to focus on what does it mean to get it right. You know, sometimes our parents' age group, sometimes they don't understand some of the issues of raising children today. Sometimes they look at everything from their perspective of the times that they lived in. And it's true that they had problems and they had challenges too, okay? But the landscape is different. But as much as that's true, that the landscape is different, in here, you're the same as every mom and dad that ever walked the earth. What drives you, what causes you to still hang in there, when trying to get anywhere on the E or anywhere else on this island is getting to you, okay? We put up with it. We do all that we do trying to make a few extra bucks so we can provide this for the family. We can take care of that. We can do something good. We do all of it because we know in our souls that our offspring should have it better than we did. Right? And that's why people are depressed today. People our age are depressed because they're afraid. They're afraid that they see the world moving in such ways that they're afraid that these kids won't have it better. Look at the pandemic. How much it hurt every single one of your souls. You do all that you do. You raise them out here at the end of the island. You're trying to shelter, to protect, to make sure that everything is nice. No one wanted them to have to grapple with masks and diseases and all the stuff that they had to. Didn't it break your heart? None of us wanted that to ever happen to our kids. We want them to have it good. But what does it mean to have it better? You see, those are the questions that God wants us to stop and take a look at. Okay? What does it mean for the kids to have it better? And what does it mean to be doing the right thing as a parent? Because we're living in a time that's lost. You can't follow the crowd. A lot of people haven't got a clue anymore. Not for a long time now. People have been living according to a set of values and a code of behavior that is not godly, that is not noble. We have to be anchored, folks, because if you want this kid to be solid, you want this kid to be able to handle whatever life's going to throw at them, they've got to have a core. And they got to see that you and me got one. That's what's missing in the world today in so many ways. People don't have a core. Your children are making confirmation in, I guess the fall is going to be here before we know it, right? Let's not rush that. I hope we have a nice summer, okay? But you know what? They're making the sacrament, but maybe the real gift here is for you and me. As the people that God has chosen to be the guide for them on this journey of life spiritually, for us to take our life with God to a deeper level. No matter where we're at spiritually, and I make no judgments about where anybody's at spiritually. You know how I approach you guys tonight and everything I do? I'm the densest person in this church right now. That's why God gave me this job. Say these things over and over again, maybe someday it'll sink in. But no matter where we're at spiritually, we all have another step to take deep into his heart. He loves you guys. Do you ever feel that? Do you live with some kind of sense of how much joy you bring to Almighty God? With all the adjustments you've had to make with this pandemic, with all the pressures of everything costing so much more, of all the stuff, in the midst of it, you're trying to do the right thing by these kids, by him. God bless you for doing this. This is a time, and you feel it, you know it, you see it. People our age are running away from anything to do with God, faith, Jesus, church, religion, boom, on. But here you are. You stepped up, and first of all, you baptized them. You brought them here to baptism, and now you want them to step up and make a godly commitment themselves. God bless you. Seriously. How much courage did you have to have roughly 12 years ago, bringing them to be baptized? Did you let yourself feel that? To think that? Because what were you doing? Remember what you felt like when these kids were born? How much joy, pride, right? You held them. You're like, I love this kid. I'll do anything. I'll die for this kid. But by bringing them to baptism, you were basically saying, I'll do anything for this kid, but this child doesn't belong to me. This child belongs to God. How much courage did that take for you to do that? And what an amazing blessing it's going to be in your life to be at their confirmation and watch them stand right here and in making that sacrament proclaim themselves, I belong to God. It's up to you more than anyone else about whether that will mean anything or not. Some families, confirmation becomes something like in the road on the same path as communion. It's something you're expected to do. How do I know that? Because I rattle off for kids the reasons I hear on my retreats why kids make confirmation. You know, all the other kids are Catholic kids are making it. Heard you can make a few bucks at your confirmation party. Shut my mother up. But the biggest line that gets a laugh is, so my mother can shut my grandmother up. The grandmas are holding the whole Catholic religion together. God bless them. But the children are not looking to grandma to see who they want to become. They're looking at you. What are they getting? You know how hungry and desperate they are to see in their mom and their dad something that they don't see in a lot of adults anymore. You know what I'm talking about. People anxious, people cutthroat, people angry, not vibrating with God anymore. They're confused, they're anxious, they're pissed off. They want to see in their mom and their dad something else. They want to see that you, with all the pressure you're under and all the things you got to deal with, that you still have something of a core inside. That core is the presence of Christ there. That gives you some kind of peace, gives you some kind of joy, gives you some kind of passion for living. They don't need to see their mom and their dad so beaten down like all the other adults today. They want to see a spark of something in you that gives them hope. They're watching you. They're catching your vibration. They're not going to say anything. They're not going to come to you and say, hey, Ma, that was a beautiful, shining example of Jesus right there. Thank you so much. Not going to give you that. And if they do, watch it. They got something else is going on, okay? But it doesn't mean they're not watching you. They want to see something of hope. The last thing a parent wants is to be part of a hopelessness in the heart of their child. But yet, if they can't see in another adult the Spirit of God flowing, Spirit of God alive, they're never going to believe that God is real. They're going to be learning about the Holy Spirit and the Holy Spirit's power. But if they can't see the Holy Spirit animating a human being, they will think it's just a religious fairy tale that we tell ourselves and we do ceremonies around. And we just keep it all going. Your kids are making confirmation, but the real gift is here for you. To let God love you more than you ever have let Him love you before. Do you have any idea how much joy you bring to Him? I've discovered there's only two kind of people that walk this earth. They're the ones that know that, and the ones who have no clue. He is watching you. He's looking after you. He's with you on this. Will you let Him help you? Will you let Him love you and bless you and help your family? If being a parent in 2022, in these modern times, this pandemic era, whatever you want to call it, hopefully I think we got something big coming on the horizon real good. But anyway, in these times, if it doesn't quite bring you to your knees and say, you know what? You were crazy enough to give me these children. Get involved. That's not so crazy. That's not so ridiculous. That's where we should be. This religion, this Catholic faith is not attractive. Let's face it, folks. Not attractive. Why? Because this religion is about, I need you. That isn't natural to us. We're adults. We went through the vulnerability of childhood. We went through the anxiety of adolescence. We're adults. We run our show, and we like that. And the kids don't need to see a basket case. The kids need to see somebody who's in charge, right? They need somebody who's on top of their game. But when it comes to things with God, okay, we're meant to depend on Him the way children need their parent. Hey, are any of you thinking, where did he get this from? Is this his little pet theory? No! We get it right from Jesus. We get it right from Jesus. The word that He used to describe the creator of the universe. Abba translates most perfectly to daddy. That's how He related to the creator. They asked Jesus, how are we supposed to pray to this creator? What does He go and say? Our Father. He's trying to teach us that you grow old, you grow wise. But in here, you're always going to need Him the way a child needs their parent. Will you let Him love you like that? Because that makes all the difference. You do not want all of this on your back alone. First of all, it's too important. And second of all, these are times that are way too difficult. Will you let Him bless you and heal your heart? And will you consecrate yourself and your family? Jesus Christ belongs in one place, folks. The center of our hearts, our lives, and our families, our communities. Will you let Him live there? Will you continue to do good things for your soul so the children see that this journey with God, whoa, it just gets better and better. It goes deeper and deeper. What a gift to give them. To realize you don't make confirmation and you plateau for life. No. They can see in their mom and their dad that their mom and dad are still growing. And this is giving them good things within their soul to carry on through life that maybe a lot of other adults don't have these days. I can't make you do anything tonight. I won't be able to make your children do anything on their retreat. I could just pray. I'm throwing something out there that makes you hungry. Because what I'm trying to say is, as adults in life, we get so caught up in that role. And it has to be so ingrained. We're adults, first of all. Parents, I told you already. Most of us have to be the boss at work. If not the boss, at least on top of your game. You don't dare slip up today. or you'd be out on the street with nothing, okay? And our country encourages individuality. Yes, there are some people that take advantage of the system, but most of us know you take care of your business. You don't look for someone to do for you, right? We take care of everything. Independent. But when it comes to faith, it's about depending. I need you. And these kids are a great blessing in your life, because if you never got that before, the day you understood and you took on that responsibility to be a guide of these young souls on their way home to heaven, that was when you really get on your knees, which is where we belong as Catholics. So, hey, I could go on and on and on. You probably figured that out. But I wanted to make sure that we spend some time tonight covering some of the things that you're going through, some of the challenges you're feeling, experiencing with the kids, some of the things about their young lives that are concerning you. So I want to make sure this works for you, okay? So, again, how many of you, when you looked at your calendar and you saw, oh, parenting at St. Sylvester's, sure hope they talk about blah, 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 blah. This is your chance to kick in, and if you don't say anything, I'll just talk more myself, okay? But seriously, what have you got? What do you feel are some of the main things that as parents and adult guides of kids today that we got to deal with? What are these things that are concerning you about what their lives are like, the kids? Yes, back there. Nice and loud, okay?
Social media.
Social media, you like it?
No.
Oh, you don't like it, okay. It's something to be on top of. You know, one of the biggest things I deal with kids every day, I do about 500 programs a year. And I do an awful lot with kids and, you know, teenagers. You and me, when we were there, teenagers have always been concerned, what does everybody think of me? Okay, that's a natural phase you go through. You're becoming your own person, you want to know what other people think, but your children are the first generation, because of social media, to grow up in public. And they are bombarded with all kinds of either reinforcement or attack about their essence. Everyone is crafting an image, a narrative, a story about who they are so that people will like them. And when they run into hard times and some of the abuse that they suffer on the social media, it's devastating. I hate it when adults tell kids, you kids are so soft. We had bullying. We dealt with it. Yeah, we did. But it ended at the end of the school day. Because of social media, you could be tormented 24/7, and in what feels like, and is actually, in front of the whole world. So it's something that you've got to help them get a grip on. Okay? If they're addicted to it, it's not good for them. It's affecting anxiety levels, depression levels, boys and girls, but especially the girls. So many different body issues, so many different cruel things the kids do and say. You've got to monitor where they're going. If they're going on social media sites where someone can tell you to go home and kill yourself anonymously, that's no good. You got to know where your kids are going on this with this social media. So how do you handle it yourself?
They don't have it.
They don't have? Oh, good. Yeah, they don't have it at all. And I'm imagining they probably torment you for that?
Yeah, they know the rules.
They know the rules. Well, good for you. Has anybody navigated this media world in a way that you feel, maybe for the parent that is feeling, I kind of have been letting them do their own thing and I am concerned, but I don't know what to do? Anybody got some advice that you'd like to impart? We won't put you in for Mother or Father of the Year or anything, but you know. Just be careful. Monitor what they're doing with their phones. They can't say to you, my phone. No, you're paying the bill, and you have to know where they're going. There's a world of trouble out there. I see another hand back there.
Well, I was going to say, my kids, I found out that they have a Snapchat account that they created on their own. I didn't even know. So I guess my thing would be secrets.
A lot.
There's things without, parents knowing they're coming to that age, and they don't share anymore.
Yeah. Thank you for witnessing to that, because there is a whole world that they could be living in that you wouldn't want them to be in, and you might not know about it unless you find out. So thank you for witnessing to that it is exactly that, a world that they don't want the adults to know about, and there are predators out there, and there's an awful lot of abuse out there, and there's just things you wouldn't want your kids to have to be part of at a young age. Thank you for testifying to that. Okay, so who got another topic? Yes? Oh, you were scratching the head. Good luck with that. Okay. Good luck with that. Seriously, some other issue that you're concerned about? Yes, ma'am. Mental health. Thank you. Thank you. Please keep real good communication with them. And if they're not okay, please talk with them. Mental health is a major issue with the kids today. The anxiety, the depression, the overthinking. It's just, it was going on before COVID, and it's certainly expanded now. So what I recommend, when the kids are on retreat with me, I will give them, I would say no matter what it is that you're struggling with, including a mental health issue, you bring it to God directly through your prayer. 2, you bring it to someone you can trust. Not blabbing it to the whole world. They don't care, and some will use it against you. Talk to someone you trust, like your parents, like a godparent, somebody that's not going to make fun of you, it's actually know a few things. And 3, sometimes in life you have to bring it to someone who knows more than you and people you trust know, like a counselor. Okay? So that's what I would say to kids struggling with mental health issues. I recommend people to be pretty clear about bringing them first to a counselor, unless they're like suicidally depressed. Okay? You bring them to a counselor. And not a psychiatrist. Psychiatrist is not your first move, unless they are severely in danger. Okay? Why do I say that? Nothing against psychiatrists, God bless them. Counselors' jobs, therapists, like psychologists, their job description is to listen. You go there first, and then that person can determine, can this young person talk this through, or do they need the help of a medication at this time? And some of us need medication for anxiety and depression. Unfortunately, some kids come home and say, Ma, Dad, I'm not okay. I hate my life and I have no reason to, and I need help, I'm stuck. Parents sometimes want their kid to feel better right away. You bring them to a psychiatrist, they get medicated, and they never got the chance to talk. So I would recommend being diligent about bringing them to someone whose job description it is to listen, and then that person can make a professional determination about whether a medication is needed or they can talk it through. But mental health is definitely something to be having your eyes and ears open on, okay? And the reason to keep communication open with them. Thank you for bringing it up. Also, I want to tell you at the end of the retreat or the program tonight, you pick up one of these. During the pandemic, when it started, the quarantine, I started a YouTube channel in order to reach out to kids who weren't going to be able to gather for things. And a professional information is called God Shots, and there's 130-something videos, I think. And 6 of them were made by me and a professional therapist. And I'll be telling your kids about this when they're on retreat with me. Her name is Cindy, and Cindy and I made 6 videos together. Anxiety, depression, abuse, addiction, suicide, and overthinking. And Cindy is young, she's totally professional, and between the insights I could throw in, plus what Cindy does from a therapeutic point of view, it's a good start to get your kid thinking about, and they'll be exposed to that information when they're with me on retreat, about what to do with mental illness. And Cindy presents it in a way that the kids feel like she knows their language, she knows how to talk to them. And so do I. Okay, thank you. Was there any other angle to it you were hoping we'd cover? No? Okay. The other thing is to take good care of our mental health and to admit that if all of this has gotten to us, and we're not okay and we could use talking to somebody. Some of us come from families and cultures where, no, we don't talk about our problems, especially us guys. Nope, that's a womanly thing to do. We guys don't talk. And that's kind of old school, kind of ignorant, and And sometimes it can be very, very helpful to model for them that when we're not okay, we're getting better. Bring it to Jesus directly, someone you can trust, counseling if necessary. But I tell the kids, don't bring it here. You don't blab about your mental health issues here. You don't bring them up because people don't care or use it against you. Okay? All right. Who's got something else? You hit two of the biggest ones. Okay? But there's other things. What else is concerning you about what the kids are struggling with, going through? How many of you kids are struggling with school? Like they're not focused, they're not motivated, they're not doing as good as they used to before this all broke? Anything like that? A couple of you? Okay. There's a video on my YouTube channel called School Daze, D-A-Z-E. And I made it with a whole bunch of professional educators, principals, counselors, and has tips on how to get yourself back on track regarding your work. Okay? All right. Who's got something else? Do you pray with your kids? Do you pray for them? Do you pray with them? Very important. The goodness you wish for them first happens on a spiritual level, a prayerful level. As a parent, you have times when you don't know what exactly to do. Should I open my big mouth, or do I need to just keep it quiet here, let them figure it out for themselves? You ever been through that one? And you don't want to err on that side badly. Because if you come in and you try and run their whole life for them, like the helicopter parents, okay, you're basically sending them a message, I have no confidence in you, I'll run your life. And then if you err irresponsibly by giving them too much rope, it's a disaster there too. So how do you get it right? How do you know when to open your mouth and when to close it? Prayer. Prayer is the way we become centered. Otherwise, we get stuck in the extremes that we naturally fall into. And a lot of parents are falling into extreme. They're either too lackadaisical, floating around, not my kid, or they're just like oblivious, thinking everything's wonderful and not really paying attention, or they're overly involved. You don't want either one. Prayer gives you the fine line, how to walk it, when you need to open your mouth, when you need to step in, when you need to be quiet. Okay? Prayer. Do you pray for them? Do you pray with them? Every one of you tonight, ask yourself, when was the last time you actually prayed as a family? I'm the oldest of 9 kids. And one of the beautiful gifts that my father gave us, and he wasn't around a lot, always working, God bless him. He was a factory worker. He worked to support his family and never complained. But he wasn't around much. But when he was around, and that was pretty much for every dinner, okay, we learned. You don't eat a morsel of food until you first said thank you to God for it. We all absorb that. Every one of his children practices that, so do his grandchildren. Everyone learned. You're blessed. See, we don't have in my family that entitlement that so many people have today. That sense of like everybody owes me. We don't have it. Because we learned from him in a simple little gesture, like giving thanks for your food before you eat. We learn we're not entitled, we're blessed. Take the time to give thank you to the God that has blessed you. You could give your children that too. Even if you don't have that habit yet, you could start it. They might give you a hard time. They might say to you, hey, Mom, why don't you all of a sudden get religious here? Let's go, let's just eat. They expect to be challenged. What about coming to church? We've all begun to approach the weekend like that's catch-up time. We all have our to-do lists, right? And the weekend is the time where you got to finish up that list because Monday's going to bring a whole new bunch of stuff that week. But if you look at your weekend as catch-up time, you'll never get to church. Because first of all, you're here, that's an hour you could be being productive. You got to get here and back. If you approach it that way, you'll never get here. But Jesus knew that following him without him is impossible. And he's here. He's here, right here now, in this building. He is always here. He's actually everywhere we go. But here, when you come to worship him and receive him, you'll be filled with blessings. I promise you. You give him a chance, You take one step towards him, he comes running towards you. And I promise you, you will have moments in your life when you will feel like, whoa, that was my first Holy Communion. There's depths to the Eucharist, to the Bible, to everything of God. Give yourself a chance. Hey, what do you keep in the bathroom to read while you're sitting in there? None of my business, right? But do you keep a Bible in there? Think about it. You're going to be sitting there at least once a day. And some of you, that's the only time they give you to be alone. No, they bother you while you're in there too. I know. But what if you kept the Bible in there? There's a beautiful book I just rediscovered called Jesus Calling. Anybody know about it? It's a little quote from Jesus. Little short thing for every day. Keep that right there. Read in a couple of minutes. Inspiration, food for your soul. The Bible. Inspiration for your soul. Feed your soul. Take good care of your soul. Don't do what we do, which is we keep bulldozing ahead. And we just think, I'll get around to that spiritual stuff later. Nah, you don't make a commitment to it, it don't happen. My dad loved to pray the rosary. It was for him. And I always felt like, I'm too busy for that. But you know what happened? I decided to keep it in the car. And when I'm stuck traveling on all these traffic jams and all these little detours and everything, I pray the rosary in the car, get it done every single day. It doesn't even feel like a burden. I was able to incorporate it into my life because I made it a discipline. Do little things for your soul. Take good care of that soul of yours. Kids need to see you doing that so they'll know to do it. Right now they're probably caught up in a lot of things, and they're going to be into more things when they become a little bit teenagers, but they're watching. And they're keeping it all in here and in here. Take care of you and your soul and your family on a spiritual level. Okay? Anybody got something that you're doing that you're really excited about? Remember I said Jesus belongs in the center. Anybody doing something that's helping you achieve that? Anybody do any kind of service together? Helping other people together as a family? Could be pretty cool. But the kids got to serve. You know what they're going to get from me? I'm going to tell them on their retreat with me that if they're not willing to help you, they're not ready for confirmation. Boom. I tell them. Long as you got life in you, your mother will never pick up another snow shovel as long as she lives. Actually, the way the climate is changing, none of us may be picking up snow shovels for a while. I don't know. But they got to help you. They're going to get that from me. I'm mentioning it in case they come back after their retreat with me and they offer to help, and you're like, okay, you've never done that before. You must be in a world of trouble. What'd you do now? Don't be like, I'll do it, honey. No, let them help you. They've got to contribute to the life of your family. And I know that's hard for you to accept. Why? Because you and me, we had to do chores, didn't we? We didn't like it. We would rather not have had them. And so if our whole focus is the kids have to have it better than we did, we had to do those chores. We would rather have not, so you don't have to do anything, honey. Here's a trophy for merely existing. And then what happens? You raise a kid that, one, don't know how to do anything, and two, not very interested in doing anything. They got to help you. Contribute to the life of your family. Let them experience the joy of loving. The kids that are on retreat with me at this time of year, what they're getting from me is, Mother's Day, did you make your grandmother a card? Do it. Paint something, draw something. And when I say make a card for grandma, I'm not talking about you printing something out on the computer. You address the envelope, you put on the stamp, all they do is sign their name. Nobody wants those darn cards. It just means the mother thought it would be nice. Let them give. Little brothers and sisters, nieces, nephews, cousins. Spend time with the grandparents. You're having a big family get-together this Mother's Day. Don't accept your child giving grandma and grandpa a big hug and kiss hello. Take their $5, $10, $20 as they go. And then disappear into a game room for 7 hours. Drew, don't let them do that. They gotta include their grandparents in their life. I tell them, when you're older and your grandchildren include you in their life, you feel like you still matter. They can do that. They can all do something. So they got to give. Okay? Anybody got something else you'd like to bring up? Okay, so they retreat with me real quick. Okay? It's going to be first all the things that can open up a person's heart to let God in, to make this real, to take Jesus Christ from somebody who's merely in a book, or merely in a building, or merely in a ceremony, to someone who's alive in their soul and every moment of their life. I go through with them all the things that can achieve that. Okay? The opening of the heart, to make the relationship real. Then I talk with them about how, and I'm probably going to do this too when they get together with the parents and the sponsors in June, that the second part of our religion is you let God love you, then you love him back, and it starts at home. It starts with your family. And then the closing part of their retreat will be a prayer experience where they will actually get to meet Jesus in a very deep way. Guys, we're Catholic. We have a lot of ways to meet Jesus. We got the Eucharist, we got the Bible, we got life, we got service, we have each other. But a lot of us have never felt him alive right in here. This next thing we're about to do right now, and your children will do on part of their retreat day with me in the fall, is called guided meditation. Now, a lot of you said that this is not your first rodeo, that you've got other older kids. Have any of you met me before and did maybe this little prayer experience of the meditation? No problem. Just be open to something fresh tonight, okay? Human tendency is to sometimes try and relive a touching moment, but then it's you doing it, not God. Just be open to something fresh, okay? The rest of you have no idea what's coming. It's called guided meditation. The lights can be dimmed, maybe. The music will be on, your eyes will be closed, and I will guide you on a journey with Jesus. All you need to do is relax and see what happens. Okay? You need a couple of things, though. I need to say this. Make sure that the mind control devices are all off. Okay? Excuse me. The second thing is, don't fall asleep. Okay? If you do, try not to snore. The third thing is, don't try and make this special. A lot of you here tonight, this is your first time doing this. And part of you might be feeling, I better do this really well. My child is going to do this in a few months. I better do it good. No. You're not doing it. I'm not doing it. Jesus is doing it. What you're doing is giving him a chance to be with you. Again, folks, you got nothing else out of me tonight. I hope you get how much he loves you. And I hope you'll be open to letting him love you, but let him do it his way. Don't get in the middle and try and make it awesome or special or wonderful, because then it'll be you and not him. Okay? Any questions? Okay, it's been great being with you tonight, and I'm excited about sharing this with you. Folks, I've done this for 2 million people all over the world. It could be the danger for you. You know, I'm really glad that this church is giving the parents a chance to experience this, because most of us, when we made our confirmations, nobody gave us this chance to meet Jesus in the very deep way that you are going to right now.